Almost forgot this one. Let's take a listen and remind ourselves what was going on in this tricky thing. Number 5. All right. Expectations. Doe. I think good expectation there. Law. Possible chord of motion moving through it, not sticking on there for a while, or possibly a 5/3 if you're hearing more as a Romanesque style. We've got a question here, don't we? 5 or 6, 3. We know it's not one of our linear dissonances because it doesn't resolve by step. All right, me.
5/3.
It could be a 5/3 if it's doing like a leaping Romanesque feel. More likely a me is usually a 6/3. We'll put a question mark on that though. A fa coming down. That'd be the 6/4/2 typically, yes. Me, like a 6/3, we totally expect a 6/3 there. Landing on a ray. We would expect maybe a like passing 6/3, something on the ray. How about a me? 6/3. Ray. 6/3 going to do. 5/3. La. And it's a law that's heading on its way to a sol. Well, start with the sol. 5/3. And is this the law of the point of maximum dissonance? So probably a 5/3 or 6/3, which one more likely going down to the sol? 6/3. What about this lay going to a sol? We maybe expect not to be a 6 chord there. Yeah, that's about a +6 on it. Good. All right, those are all very intelligent suppositions. Many of them are not actually correct. Let's see if we can pull out a little bit of fine tuning now as we listen to with our ears. Let's listen particularly for any spot that you hear some kind of chromaticism, something outside the key. I'll flag it with red when we hear something that's outside the key. Obviously on the lay sol with the +6 aluminum, that was definitely chromatic. Was there anything else you heard with chromaticism somewhere? Morning, Caleb.
Good morning.
Another lesson? For Caleb?
Yes.
Caleb, our problem of the morning is this tricky little piece behind it.
Okay.
Somewhere, we figured out there's definitely chromaticism on the sol because the base estimate system, but we've also figured out polylethal and fissile non-fixed. One other place there's chromaticism. See if you can hear some kind of chromatic passing tones in probably an inside voice. That's why we haven't picked up on it quite yet.
Right there.
In this area, where specifically in this area? First, second, or third chord, like I said.
I thought it was the second chord.
It's the second chord
Yeah,
pushing
It's
two
those
here, wasn't it? Good. So I've got something going on there.
You have a D.
Excellent. Yeah, maybe if this is going like mi re, maybe there's a D re somewhere above. All right, so let's adjust. Which note do I need to put a plus sign on?
The six.
The six. Yes, yes, yes. By the way, if I have that acting as a D ray and a mi ray, this ray probably gets a what on it? 5-3. We're stabilizing that ray. Yeah. The D ray will sound like a T do in the key of re. The mi ray will sound like a re do in the key of re. We've got a couple of zons happening there. Good. All right. What other details do we still want to pick up on here? We have some question marks left still. Anybody feel comfortable with either of these question marks?
I think maybe if it's in a similar cycle to the next measure, that in the second measure, 6-3 could also be applied 6-3? Or the
Here Christian's saying maybe there's a similar thing happening here. There is a similar thing happening here, Christian. There is a ray do in the T do. You are absolutely correct. Does that mean I put a plus on it? This is ray do in the key of?
Do.
Which means the T do is in the key of do, which means I need to put a plus on it? No, because it's already inside of our key. Yeah, so it turns out that that one is in fact in the key. So you are correct, it is a similar gesture, but it's already taking care of itself. That said, Christian, pull on your instincts a little bit farther here, because adding this chromaticism in a way created a dissonance here. So if I wanted to create a dissonance here and not have it go 6-3 to 5-3, I wanted to make it a dissonance, I would turn that 6-3 into a what? Going down by step to a 5-3.
6-4.
6-4-3, yeah. There's the dissonance you heard, Christian. Note a +6 for the 6-4-3. Good. Really, all that's left at this point, technically there's one weird thing Haydn does, but I'm not going to make you guys pick up on it. All that's left at this point really is our big question marks at the beginning. Was it a 5-3 or a 6-3 on the law? And was it in fact a mi 6-3, or did he slip in a different color mi 5-3? And the recording goes by kind of fast, so maybe I'll play it on the keyboard and slow it down just a little bit. Oh, up to clef.
That second one, I think, is a 6-3.
6-3 here?
Mm-hmm. It didn't sound that like super stable right there. Though.
There was some motion happening
Yeah.
in that chord, wasn't there? There's something moving. In fact, maybe the melody might actually help us lock that in that point. Let's go to the recording again. Grab the pickup note plus those 3 notes in the melody. Yeah. Da, da, dum, bum. Yeah. So, mi, fa, sol. Good. Totally expect the mi to happen inside of a do 5-3. How about fa? How far above the la is the fa? 6. There's our 6-3. Absolutely. Sol. Mi to sol, this doesn't actually help us here because that's a third, which exists in both the 5-3 and the 6-3. So at that point, did you hear it go darker, minorish sound for the 5-3, or staying in that major sound?
Major.
Major sound, which would make it a mi.
5-3. Wait. No. 6-3.
6-3. Just stays right in the
Yeah.
key. Good. I will give you the one other thing that Haydn does. Because it is completely contrary to our usual rules. And I'm just looking to see how he wrote it without causing the problems that usually happen. Where is the may? Ah. Clever. I see how he does it. Haydn used a different flavor of augmented 6 chord here. And specifically, he used this one. All right, let's put some Roman numeral labels and things. Good practice for us. Do 5-3.
1.
Mm-hmm. La 6-3, drop it down the third. 4, and then we just bring down the 6. Mi 6-3.
1-6.
1-6, we drop that mi down a third to the 1. Fa 6-4-2. Remember what you do in these 6-4-2s? The 2 tells you that you have to go up by
Step.
Yes. So the fa steps up to a
Step. The fa.
sol, which makes it a
5.
5.
6-4.
5. And then we abbreviate
4, 7,
4-2.
Oh.
The 4 and the 2 imply the 6.
Oh.
Just like the 6 implies a 6-3, and nothing implies a 5-3.
Oh.
Just talking through our abbreviations again. Good review. Okay, this says chromatic, which means it's not in our original key. Skip it a moment. Anytime we go into those chromatic dissonances, we skip them, see where they're going to. And this is going to. Mm-hmm. Which is why I emphasize going to.
And then that's 5, the key of 2.
Which means this is in the key of 2. So he's all into there.
Oh wait, 1, 6, and key 2.
All right, now we've got a thing inside the key of 2. So this is a do in the key of 2. So this is a re in the key of 2. 6-3 means we drop it down the third from re to T, which makes the 7. Yeah. 7, 6 of 2. Good. Me 6, 3. Mm-hmm. 6, 4, 3. When we have a 4 without the 2, the 4 takes us up a 4th. Right up a 4th takes us to the soul, right, which makes it a 5. Abbreviation, 5, 4, 3. Yeah. Do 5, 3, easy? 1. Law 6, 3, we've seen that one before. 4, 6, good.
And then 1 is at the end.
Oh, you know, this is some flavor of augmented 6. And the 5, 3, of course, is a
1.
soul 5, 3.
Soul 5, 3.
Oh.
5.
5. All right. Does anybody remember which flavor of augmented 6th is the 6, 5? Let's walk through them in review. The plus 6, 3 all by itself just has a whole lot of dough is
Wait, is that the
they're all some type of augmented 6. Neapolitan 6 has what in the base? Fa. Yeah. So we see the way in the base, we're immediately thinking something else.
There was a hint, but I can't.
It was a hint, because there is a simple country that loves their dough. Lots of pasta, lots of bread. Italian. So this is why we're doing the review. So you have all sorts of colors in that semester. Then we put in this crunch version. Crunch.
Crunchy Italian.
Which is really pungent and stinky and makes it French.
I knew Italians and French people were the same.
And the fun here, of course, what makes it so stinky. So you got lay in the base, I've got phi up here. This is my dough. Dough to phi, of course, is a tritone. But this ray here to lay is also a tritone. It's a quarter with 2 tritones. Makes it really pungent, strong smelling, like the land of strong cheese and an aversion to bathing. All right, and then the other one, the one that tends to cause problems because there's a 5th here and a 5th here, is of course the country whose obsession with perfection in the 20th century led to all sorts of problems. Germany. And Haydn, we look at that and we go, Haydn, what did you just do? Did you just move parallel 5ths here? Because how would I expect the notes to resolve above this German augmented 6? Obviously the bass is going. So much. Lay sol, that one's given to you. What is the plus 6 above the lay? Phi, which goes to? So. What's the 3rd going to the 3rd? Do T. In fact, I bet if we back it up, we can part right all the way through. What else do I have in the law 6-3? I have a fa do, which should probably go where? Fa fi sol, yep. Do T. All right. Now, the usual problem is when I put in this note, which technically in minor I have to put a minus sign on. because it's up a perfect fifth from lay. What's up a perfect fifth from lay? May. And the problem is that that may usually goes to Ray, and lay to May is a fifth, and sol to Ray is a fifth, and boom, Anschluss. Germany's causing problems. Haydn gets around that by doing this really clever line where the May isn't resolving the way that we usually expect May to resolve. He writes this. Do, May,
Sol.
Sol. He puts a line in here that arpeggiates up and thereby creates one of the rare situations where German augmented six can resolve to a Sol 5-3 directly without going to the 6-4 first, without causing problems. It's really quite a clever solution.
What would it sound like with a Do May Ray?
Well, I shall demonstrate some of these. Okay, and here. So here's. As he resolves it. And I will emphasize those individual lines over it. And then the other words that he slips in. Let me try that one time singing in tune. It's actually tricky to sing, isn't it? I was having all sorts of trouble singing that one. It didn't behave the way we usually expect the Do May Sol to sound. I kept wanting to go Do, Fi Sol. I kept hearing the Fi Sol pull up. May Sol doesn't sound as natural as major. If I did Do May Re,
Do May Ray.
and there's your parallel fifths. It's a really clever solution to a voice leading problem.
Do people use parallel fifths at all? To like break the rules or what?
We're gonna get to Debussy after for Jazz Fest. Yes. And of course, that leads to today's world where if you're writing something, nobody cares about parallel fifths anymore. Common practice, it was fair. Well then, nowadays, as long as you know what you're doing and you're doing for deliberate reason, it depends on what your guiding principle is in your music, isn't it? Does anybody remember thinking all the way back to freshman theory, why we don't usually write parallel fifths in common practice? What happens if I have parallel fifths or parallel octaves?
They have the exact same change in interval.
Yes, changing by the same interval. And what that does is it changes it from having two different melodies to having one melody. Doubled at the octave or doubled at the fifth. And organ music is doubled at the octave or the fifth all the time just to thicken up the sound. It's still considered one melody. If your goal is to have multiple independent lines, then you avoid parallel fifths and parallel octaves because it destroys the independence of the lines. If you're no longer thinking about independent melodies, but you're thinking instead about different layers of sound, then maybe your goal isn't to avoid parallel octaves and parallel fifths.
If you really want that to stick.
And if you want that sound, which Debussy did because oftentimes he was trying to evoke the sound of medieval music, which used to use parallel fourths and parallel fifths, organ. Also, if you're an organist and you have that thickened organ sound, or if you're a guitarist playing power chords because you want that fat sound, parallel fifths is a great way to get that. Yeah. So we're allowed to use parallel fifths and parallel octaves as long as we do so deliberately, knowing what we are creating.
Or you do not know you're doing a million.
Okay. Let's do another one. Such a great review this week. Let's do a violin trio. Well, trio sonata. Which the recording will play. I will not. Example 10 probably. It's good practice for us to listen to things other than piano sometimes. Because there's an awful lot of music that we experience in the world that isn't a piano, isn't there? Of course, I say that as I'm about to play a piece that's 2/3 piano. That was a really cool moment there, wasn't there? Yes. Here's again, grabbing our bass. Do, 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 sol, sol. Good start. That's right. Not it, sol. Yeah. I was looking at the violin line, so I looked at the thing. Sitting up here, anyone notice that do at the beginning? Or, more likely in minor, we would call it. What's the same enharmonic as D flat? C sharp.
Oh, yeah, C sharp.
D flat, C sharp. Yes. This is one of the things that absolute pitch people sometimes do, is the one that they play most often on their instrument, and as a flute, she runs into D flats more often than she runs into C sharps. So she hears that frequency and she immediately thinks D flat, and then I'm pulling it out of her that, well, D flat minor would have a key signature from hell, so it's actually C sharp minor. So, dum, 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 sol, sol. And that's built on that. Do, 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 sol, 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 fa, mi, fa, sol, sol, do. Yes. Sol, fa, mi, fa, sol, sol, do. All right. Just for fun, what would the keys in for D flat minor be? Start with D flat major. D flat major. E, E, A, D, one more, 5 flats, correct? Add 3 to go to minor. Which is why I said D flat minor have the key signature from Hill, so we're going to put it in C sharp minor instead. Yes. All right. Do. Mm-hmm. Do. Was it the same? Do all the way through. It moved, pedal 6/4. And then it comes back to, and there's our pedal motion. So, still, a fa moving down to main. 6/4, 2 to the 6/3. Fa. Oh, it's our old friend fa. Is it the 5/3? Is it the 6/3? Is it the 6/5? Caleb thought that was really cool.
Why do we say the 6/5?
6/5.
Maybe guess the 6/5. We'll put a question mark on it because Matthew says he's always wrong, and so he's not sure about that. So do.
It will be 6/4.
Probably a credential 6/4. Going to the
3.
5/3, coming back to the
Should be 6/3. Let's do that instead.
5/3.
Oh, I did it back. Well,
All right, and our question mark is especially on the fa. Caleb goes, ooh. What would I do to a fa chord that would make you go, ooh? A little shiver happening there.
Another no.
And chromatic, kind of it's gonna, would it be?
There's some kind of chromaticism there, some kind of chromaticism on our fa. Some kind of chromaticism on our fa. Which means I'm no longer sure at all if it's a 6/5. Well, I know it's some kind of chromaticism. If I'm going fa to sol, would I go T do in the key of sol? What would be T do in the key of sol? Fi sol. Do I want to go Fi sol up top or I'm going fa sol down bottom?
No.
Probably not.
Especially because they're moving 6/4.
And we're going to the 6/4 as well. Yes, 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 which is delaying the arrival of 5/3. So, what other chromaticisms do we tend to hear in the context of a fa?
Good.
Something that put a shiver down your spine.
Good. No.
Could be a Neapolitan.
Could be a Neapolitan, a little bit of too much ice cream from the Phrygian. What would be a Neapolitan? Fa up to, what would be that magic note? Ra.
Oh, it could work.
It could work. Fa to Ra is how far? Fa Re is a 6. So Fa Ra is a -6. And of course that would be paired with a 3. Yeah. Possibility of a Neapolitan going there. Let's listen, see if we hear the
Ra.
Fa do ti do. Yeah, Neapolitan all over that chord. Good. Roman numerals, good practice. Do 5/3.
1.
1. And we're just going to try our pedal 6/4 5/3. Sol 5/3.
5.
5. Fa 4/2. Still 5. So I'm just going to literally keep that Roman numeral here, and I'm just going to write that it changes into the 4/2 version of it. If you wanted to rewrite things, you're always welcome to. Generally, the Roman numerals stay the same.
How is that the 5?
How is that the 5?
Yeah.
Let's explore exactly what makes a Fa 4/2 a 5. First of all, Nathan says that if there's a 2, you go up a step and you call that the root. Second of all, let's actually look at the notes involved and prove that Nathan's shortcut works. All right, so I've got to find the base and I've got 642. Give me a note up a 2 from fa. So love it. Up a 4 from fa. T. Up a 6 from fa. Right.
Hey, look at that, it's a dominant seventh.
If I have the sol, T, re, and fa together, it's a dominant seventh.
Okay.
Rearrange so that the intervals are a 2, 4, and 6, therefore a 5, 4, 2.
Okay.
Yeah. And it works that way with any 4-2 chord. You write it out and you realize that the root is the 2. May 6, 3.
1, 6.
1, 6, good. Fa minus 6, 3. That's our Neapolitan. Sol, sol, 6, 4, 5, 3.
5, 6, 4.
There's our cadential 6, 4.
3, and then
Boom. Ending on a do 5, 3.
Uno.
Oh, that one was really easy as it turns out. It was just 1 and 5 ending. Neapolitan. And the Neapolitan was the cool part. Let's listen one more time.
Yeah, part's so good.
All right. Let's do another one. Let's do that one. I'll go to the realm of opera this time. And again, we're not listening to the singer, we're listening to the bass, or in this case, the cello. Oh, are you ready for him to resolve that? Yes, again. The bass. Starts on do. Do.
So,
It sounds like it's going to go sol do, doesn't it? The next 2 notes. Do, do, sol, do. That's a good start. Let's continue. Wait,
Yeah, that was
it
not,
wasn't sol
that
do.
was not soul. No.
It was la. And the la going to law of Ray sound like soldo?
Same step, same.
Same mineral, but there's something even more to it that would make it sound like a soldo. If it sounded like a soldo in the key of, Ray.
Yeah.
which would mean if I had some chromaticism, where?
This, yeah.
Plus 3
But
over
there.
the-
On this, we're gonna have a plus 3 in there. And if it sounds like a sol do, it's gonna be a what plus 3? 5 plus 3. Good. Which would resolve to a Ray.
5, 3,
5, 3. Good. Oh, wait, do.
5, 3,
5, 3. Roman numerals do.
1,
Still 1.
1,
Ray 5, 3 is.
2.
Back it up.
It's an of 2.
Up 2. 5. Up 2. Good. Onwards. Let's wrap it up.
That really like makes you want it to resolve it in.
Oh, I mean, that milks that something
Yeah.
remarkable, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay. Do, la, re, do. So it's going up by skips. Re. Where do we go up from re? Sol.
Wait.
Sol. Right.
Oh.
And then resolving to do. And hang out in the sol for a while.
And on T, what last place on T?
Oh, what? Where?
Like right when he does the kind of fake out.
Yeah.
The fake out. Huh?
It like really.
Deceptive.
Let's find out what we got going
I
on here.
hear him doing it and I'm like, hurry up. I love it, but it's like.
First of all, where's the melody end on? Mi, re, do, yes. Which implies what? If I got mi going to the re.
Why does it sound so different then? Me too, right?
There is 6 nonsense happening there. How far from sol to mi? 6 going to the re. 5. And if I've got a 6 moving to 5, that implies a. What goes with the 6?
The 3. Wait.
4, 3.
In a sol.
Oh, 4.
4, cadential.
Oh, to the 3.
Oh. The singer backs it up and does another cadential 6/4 there before coming to the do 5/3. And so that prolongation of the cadential 6/4.
That's why you want it to go there so bad because.
So now you've landed not just on a 5, but you've landed on a 5/6/4, and you hang on to that 5/6/4, waiting for it to resolve to the 5.
And then you think it's
5/3.
Yeah, you think it's gonna go to the 5/3, but then the singer does the 6/4.
And then the singer backs it up to the 6/4 one more time and goes 5/3. By the way,
That's why.
in
That's the thing, it's taking forever.
music, when I have the orchestra hits that cadential 6/4 stops, and the soloist messes around and prolongs it for a while, we take our cadence and refer to this messing around prolongation of the cadential 6/4 as a cadenza.
Cadenza.
Cadenza. A cadenza is a soloist messing around on top of a cadential 6/4 chord.
Oh.
And then finally it gets resolved 5/3, do 5/3. It's a lovely motion. Here it is again. You can hear that.
Oh.
Now I'm going to give you the other fun part, what the soloist sings. No, he holds that note for a long time. What does that note resolve it? Boom, boom, da dum, sing that he do. Bum, beam, bum, bum, la. He's holding on to a lot above that soul. La, sol, mi, do, la, sol, mi, re, do. So he's got this big long dissonance. La, against the sol. So it's along how far? The second, if the bass is the dissonance, which voice has to yield? The top voice is, so it's a 9. The singer's doing this 9, 8, and then coming down to 6/4, 9, 8. Which is all sorts of fun, especially since the rest of the orchestra just went not la sol, but lay sol. Isn't that fun?
That's crazy.
Yeah. And by the way, lay. Was it an augmented 6/4? Was there a fee sol happening there? No, there wasn't. So something else is going on here. If it were a la, maximum point of instability resolving down to a sol 5/3, we would put a what on that instability coming down to a 5/3?
That's 16.
A 6 what 3?
6/4.
6/4 3. Excellent. So I've got lay 6/4 3. It's that mode mixture thing. We're pulling in the lay into major moldeur. Roman numeral time. What's a lay 6/4 3? Roman numerals.
Or,
So 6/4
oh, that's.
What's that French thing?
3. No, because it doesn't have a +6.
Oh, it's not a +6.
It's
Not
a
plus
fourth.
six.
It's a fourth.
2. Lay goes up to the re, which makes it a 2. 4/3, except it's a 2 what because it has the lay in it.
Plus.
It pulls it from a minor 2 into a half diminished.
Oh.
Half diminished. Moldeur. Darker than usual. All right, good. This has been a lovely review. We've got Jazz Fest next week, so no class on Tuesday, of course. On Thursday, we'll come back and we'll start learning new things.